Okay, in today's conversation, we want to look at protecting your data in the cloud. And my guest today is John Mathew George, who is the lead security architect for AWS at TSystems. Hi, John.
Hi, Bernard. How are
Where
you?
are you joining it? I'm very good. Where are you joining us from today?
I'm joining in from Deutsche Telekom headquarters in Bonn, and yeah, I've been working with T-Systems for the last 4 years and helping the customers to have a secure environment.
Very good. So anyone who might not know T-Systems can give us a very brief overview of who T-Systems is and what they do?
T-Systems is an organization that provides IT infrastructure services to customers in EU, and it's widely known. It's one of the biggest in EU at the moment, and especially in Germany, we provide the cloud infrastructure as well as the private cloud as well. And we help customers to transition to the digitalization. And yeah, I mean, especially if you talk about me and my responsibilities, it's basically providing AWS landscape to customers to help customers to innovate and grow their business and to kind of, yeah, make sure that they can really scale and benefit from what the cloud can offer uh, to the industries at the moment.
Excellent. So most organizations are speeding up their cloud transformation programs where cloud becomes the base platform as well as a catalyst for innovation. But there's still companies that are reluctant to take this leap and move to the cloud. Sometimes organizations might approach their cloud transition in the wrong way. What do you think might be some of the reasons for this? And maybe you said T-Systems focuses on the European Union. Any
Mhm.
specific reasons why customers in that region might be more reluctant to adopt the cloud?
Well, as you know, the cloud computing has become very popular over the years, and it has given customers the ability to scale and innovate. But at the same time, customers see a lot of challenges because, especially with lack of rights on cloud and not clear clarity on the responsibilities and liability, right? And insufficient data protection standards and control mechanisms, and how various jurisdictions come together and harmonize things. So it's a bit confusing for the customers when they want to think about cloud and move their data to cloud and provide services over the cloud. It's always not very a streamlined process, and that's I think that's the reason companies are a bit reluctant on moving to cloud because they are not very clear on regulatory complexity, I would say, and how the data localization works, how the support services, the operational support can be localized or getting more visibility into where the data is and where the data resides. So that I think is might be the reasons that is the reasons that people are or companies are very reluctant to move to cloud, right, at this point of time.
Yeah, and I guess when you talked about the importance of data protection, when companies start their cloud journey, one of the main issues, I guess, the main concerns is around data access, making sure it's protected, making sure maybe foreign governments can't access this data. How are you as T-Systems helping customers navigate these challenges?
Yeah, sure. One of the biggest reason why people move to cloud is to have the scalability and flexibility to deploy faster, provide the customers better ability and latest services in hand, and boost the ecosystem, right, for innovation and faster time to market. But what European organizations are currently doing is, as we talked about the challenges previously, uh, one of the critical things that kind of looking forward when they move to cloud is to how to move their business critical data and workloads into cloud. At the same time, have the regulatory compliance and everything in place so that they don't deviate from that and they can still provide that level of innovation and services to their customers. So one of the major thing they're looking for is how they can protect the data in cloud, how they can do identity and access management, and have the regulatory compliance while they do that, and to prevent any foreign governments to access their data. So to answer the second part of your question, how is TSystems helping their customers? We as TSystems sat down with multiple enterprise customers to listen to them, listen to their stories and the pain points. And we came up with a framework along with AWS, because we are the AWS premier partner in Europe, and also a security partner, security competence partner. And we sat with AWS and took these pain points of our customers to them and discussed the solution. Okay, how we can help our customers to. Because AWS as a cloud platform provides a wide range of services that the customers can use to secure their environments. But how can we create a framework and make it easier and simplify it for the customers to kind of have everything deployed at a single click, and they can still work on their application without worrying about the compliance or without worrying about where the data is, and they get full visibility. So that's the reason we work with AWS and launched this offering from our side called Data Protection as a Managed Service, where we provide multiple options for the customers, where we provide a landing zone, a trusted landing zone, where the security baseline is already in place. So the customer gets the default security in place for all levels. And to add on that, we have data residency visibility to the customers. So the customers get visibility, an end-to-end visibility of where the data is on a single dashboard, whether it's in a different account or different region, and what's happening with that data, who is accessing it from anywhere. So that's all the end-to-end visibility is given to the customer so that they can be a bit more confident and they can audit it on real time, right? So that's what we provide as TSystems to the customers. And on top of it, we also provide 24/7 operations on AWS from within the EU, right? So that, it acts as it's a cherry on the top of the cake, saying, okay, yeah, the operations is also handled locally in EU. So that gives more confidence to the customer. And one of the important things that we also provide as part of our offering here in this same Data Protection as a Managed Service is providing encryption as a service to the customers, right? Because that is very important, because once you move your data to cloud, it's very important that you encrypt everything that you can, right, to protect it from unwanted attacks, right? So we help the customers in choosing the right encryption methodology, and also providing them different levels of encryption, right? And if the customers don't want to stick with the cloud providers' encryption methodology, we as TSystems provide them an option to use the HSMs in our data centers and to encrypt the data on cloud. So the keys would be residing in TSystems data centers in Germany, and they can use those keys to encrypt the data on cloud. So always the master key or the key resides in the data center. So if somehow the data gets leaked, nobody can use it because it's encrypted with a key outside the cloud provider. So this is using all these things that we provide. It's a bit more easier for the customers to adopt to cloud, but at the same time maintain the compliance requirements and innovate at scale.
Interesting. So you talked about encryption. Maybe you can elaborate a little bit on how TSystems is helping your AWS customers choose the right encryption methodology.
Sure, Bernard. So AWS, as a leading cloud provider, provides customers with multiple options on how to encrypt the data on cloud, right? So there are multiple options. Either customers can use their own keys within their data center and bring it to cloud, or use the cloud HSM. These are HSMs provided by AWS in their AWS data centers, and then use that for encrypting the data. Or they can use the default service, key management service on AWS that comes as a default package. So customers have multiple options. But what recently was launched in reInvent last year in December was something called XKS, External Key Store, where the customers have the ability to bring in the keys, or they don't have to bring in the keys. They can use the HSMs in their own data centers and use that keys generated in that HSM, use those keys seamlessly integrated to the key management service on AWS. So they don't have to export the key or bring it directly to AWS, but the keys always remain in that data center, and the integration seamlessly happens using the XKS proxy that they enabled. And what we as TSystems is providing is that XKS proxy and the HSM setup, etc., would be in TSystems data center, because we as TSystems have an experience of providing key management for the last 10 years, and we have a lot of customers using it, enterprise customers using it. So we have the scale to provide that out of multiple regions across the globe. And that is added benefit for the customers, because if the customer would like to do that for themselves, one of the first thing is like, hey, do we have the skills to operate that level of expertise that's required, and do we have the scale to scale it up on customer demands or on the market demands? So we as T-Systems have that scale, have these skills to operate it for the customers, and the customers then can leverage that for their cryptographic needs and use it for the encryption. And that's, again, everything resides here in Germany and can be also provided at different locations depending on customers' requirements.
Interesting. So whenever I talk to anyone about encryption, the big future challenge might be making things quantum safe, because quantum computers could potentially break the traditional encryption methodologies that we apply. Any views on that?
Yeah, that's a good point. I was going to come to that and then in some time, but quantum tech, I mean, AWS is all continuously innovating the way they develop security for their customers. And the key strength or the encryption key methodology that's being used is currently kind of under innovation. And quantum is one of the things that we are looking into as well, on how we can use security or the quantum technology to make sure that it's optimized in future for a future-proof security. So that's what we are currently working on, and you might hear some good news in the future from our side.
Very good. And do you have any advice for that you would give customers if they want to migrate to the cloud and at the same time want to make sure that the data is secure and they have visibility of what is happening to their data in the cloud?
Sure. If you ask me personally, I would encourage our customers to move to cloud, because it gives immense benefits, right? Like scalability, optimization, security, and the easiest way to innovate and go to market, right? And as you can see, the cloud providers have democratized many technologies that were previously not available to common man, like artificial intelligence or machine learning. So these things are now available to any person that's interested to put their hands on, learn, and develop services to their customers. So I will definitely encourage everyone to explore that. But during that time, it's very important that we take responsibility of the security of what we are trying to do there and the customer's data, right? So the first thing that I would like to express is we should connect security to the mission objectives, to the business outcomes that we want to deliver for our customers. Security should be job zero for our organization. That's the very important thing. And build security into everything that you do, right? Even while writing your code or deploying your infrastructure or deploying your application, security should be one of the important things that you should look into. And as I told previously, try to encrypt everything that you can when you are on cloud, using SSL or TLS, whatever you want to do. Just encrypt everything on rest and transit. And for getting visibility, do proper monitoring and logging. And try to use AI ML features for your security that can really evolve your security posture. And and last but not the least, try to get an advice from a trusted expert partner that can help you in this journey. Thank you.
Very good, John. Thank you so much for taking the time today to speak to me about this super important topic, and thank you for sharing your expertise in this.
Thanks, Bernard. Thanks for the time. Really appreciate it.